President Trump delivering the final speech of the night at the RNC, detailing the moments when he realized that he had been shot over the weekend, and also laying out his plans if he wins the White House.
Here's the moment that Trump officially accepted the nomination.
I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
All right, let's get some analysis. 12 News journalist Bram Resnick joins us alongside two political insiders. They all watched the speech tonight, and they're here with reactions. Bram?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. We all watched the 92-minute speech together, going past midnight on the East Coast. Joining me are Barrett Marson, Republican consultant at Marson Media, Stacey Pearson, Democratic consultant at Lumen Strategies.
Is it still Thursday?
It's Friday.
Barely.
It's Friday out east. For much of the first part of that speech, probably the first 30 minutes, I think we were looking at each other, and I was wondering, have we ever seen this Donald Trump before?
It was truly a different Donald Trump, but it was also a gripping Donald Trump in a way, the way he recounted what happened on Saturday. And we haven't really heard that before from his perspective. So I thought that really worked well. I thought it was really good, even if it seemed a little low energy, a little serene. You know, we're not used to that kind of Trump for sure. So the whole concept of, well, he's changed since Saturday, that did certainly seem to be the case in that first half hour or so of his speech.
Do we need to give it some time before we decide whether Donald Trump is a changed man as a result of that assassination attempt?
He told the same lies about the same issues at a lower volume. He is exactly who he was on Saturday morning as he was today. Just because he delivered it with less flair doesn't mean that anything is more true.
It did have some Father of the Bride speech vibes. There's no doubt about that. But I think for people who love Donald Trump, it was exhilarating hearing him speak of that event and then going into his, quite frankly, usual speech.
But for folks watching, and maybe people want to just take a look, sample Donald Trump, what kind of vibe would they have gotten from this?
I think they got the vibe that they need to turn the lights down and maybe snuggle up in bed and roll over on the pillow. I think they very much got the impression that this guy would have been in high school with Joe Biden. So this is not a young man. And by midnight on the East Coast, he looked tired, sweaty, mumbly, wandery. It's exactly what we're dealing with.
I think he seemed to gain a little energy.
Yeah, he
up a bit.
Well, when he started throwing out the greatest hits, right? When he was throwing out his, build the wall and, we're going to, shut down the border. I mean, he was energetic.
Much of it was familiar to us who've listened to many of his speeches before. What about the tone? There was this idea that he would turn down the tone and moderate the tone, the rhetoric. Let's put up a bite where we kind of get at that.
The Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy. Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country.
Donald Trump saying he is the one saving democracy for the country.
And certainly
stop weaponizing democracy.
And certainly the earlier part of the speech, if you will, the first 45 minutes, that was maybe the most animated that he was all night long when it was the personal thing about him and his legal issues and what the Democrats are doing to him. That was his most animated the entire night.
Again, we're talking about a man who feels persecuted for having a bathroom full of classified documents. I mean, we're talking about total insanity here. You've got a bathroom with a chandelier and a bathtub filled with, I don't know what secrets. I don't want to know.
But you know what? Not a problem anymore. Case dismissed.
For the moment. Now, we were told before the speech he was not going to mention Joe Biden's name, kind of a Harry Potter thing, he who shall not be named. But he slipped up. Let's listen.
The damage that this administration has done, and I say it often, if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only going to use the term once. Biden. I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time. The damage that he's done to this country is unthinkable. It's unthinkable.
So that was the one time he was going to use Biden's name. He actually used it twice. Is Joe Biden watching this speech and thinking, hang on, they want me to drop out
Joe Biden should be in bed.
because of this guy?
Joe Biden was sleeping. Joe Biden was sleeping, let's be honest.
But more importantly, the other thing he didn't mention is the word abortion, is women's reproductive rights, and didn't talk about the unborn, didn't talk about any of the Republican Party's platform, particularly a national abortion ban.
This might be the first time we haven't heard the words right to life. To life.
But look, we all know that is a divisive issue, and Donald Trump wants to take that off the table. It's out of the Republican,
I bet he does.
Yeah, it's out of the agenda for the National Republican Party.
Let's come back.
I think he just wants that off the table, and we talk about, is he bringing down the temperature? Hey, he didn't call him Sleepy Joe. He mentioned Biden, but he didn't call him Sleepy Joe.
Okay, that's a win. Let's bring it back to Arizona. There's word Joe Biden might step aside as soon as Sunday. A lot of rumors flying around. Arizona's Mark Kelly. Senator Mark Kelly is being mentioned as a potential vice presidential candidate, even
presidential candidate.
Great.
He polls great.
Where do you think Kelly ends up when the dust clears here?
I don't know, but I will say he has the biography and he has the wife. So he really does have a lot going for him. An astronaut who's been in the space and, on the space station, or commanded the space shuttle, rather. That's a good biography in a short time that we would have.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. And he joins a list of really distinguished Arizonans who are going to be, who could very well be the first. Be it John McCain, Barry Goldwater, Sandra Day O'Connor. We have a legacy in this state of producing really incredible leaders.
With no presidents.
No presidents.
No presidents.
Can't grow up.
That's right.
Arizona.
That's right.
Such a shame. Stacey Pearson, Barrett Morrison, thanks so much.
Thank you.